Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's episode of My Cyber Why. This is a web series that celebrates all of those who work in the cybersecurity field and that work together to keep us safe and secure online. Today's guest is Meghan Martinez. She works in the digital forensics and incident response team at MassMutual. Her first career was in couples and families therapy, and she is passionate about cyber workforce development and career pipeline. So, welcome, Meghan.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be participating in this. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for doing this. So, as you know, we have 4 questions that we ask all of our guests. The first one being, who are you? So, who is Meghan?
Sure. So I think in today's world of COVID, it's important to think about the person as a whole. So, I'm a partner, I'm a dog mom, I'm a DFIR, digital forensics incident response professional. I have a background in marriage, couples and family therapy, and I went to school as well for cyber intelligence.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you do in cyber?
Sure. So as you mentioned, I work for the digital forensics and incident response team at MassMutual. I've been at the company for just over 2 years now. And so when I first started, it was more project management type work in terms of, making sure that we're communicating about the incident properly, informing the proper stakeholders, and making sure the incident is working through the different phases to its conclusion. Last year, or the beginning of 2020, my team and the digital forensics team actually merged. So now we're the DFIR team. And that's really allowed me to get into more of the technical side of things. So learning more about and conducting host-based forensics, really getting deep dives into investigations, log analysis, tuning and alerting, etc.
And why do you do it? Because, like you mentioned, you started in family and couples therapy.
Yep.
So, how did that lead into forensics? Did cyber?
Yeah. It's an interesting story and thank you for asking the question. I kind of fell into it, honestly, by accident. I really enjoyed what I was doing. I, at my core, really like to help people. I'm really interested in how people operate and what makes people decide to do the things that they do. And I also, at the same time, in my personal life, have always enjoyed, technology and kind of playing with the latest gadgets, et cetera, seeing, what our technological possibilities can be as things evolve. And, honestly, from just kind of a personal perspective, what happened was I was in the process of getting a divorce. And, the valuable work that my colleagues and I were doing in terms of, clinical therapy, unfortunately, is not a profession that is known by any means for, for paying well. And, once I found myself, having to support myself on my own, I needed to think about how I was going to be able to do that. And I was very lucky to be able to transition into a job that really exposed me to a lot of different elements of the cybersecurity industry. And that's when I really started to get serious about going back to school. As I mentioned, I went back to school for cybersecurity intelligence and have had, several different roles since then that have, I just continue to soak it up and learn whatever I can from whomever.
Yeah, that's definitely great to have when you're in cyber because it's ever evolving. So you need to keep on learning. So it's great that you actually want to do it. And so this goes into my next question, which is how can people get more involved and learn more about cybersecurity?
Sure. So one of the things I have had, in recent years, a colleague that I have learned a lot from has exposed me to the InfoSec community on Twitter. I think community in all forms and fashions is really important. And I had never thought really before about the online community, as weird as that is. I've always thought it's important to foster relationships at work and, in professional networking capacities, or more traditional, I guess, working capacities. But the Twitter community, the InfoSec community on Twitter is really amazing. In general, it's actually kind of a smaller group. So not what you would think about when you think about the, millions of users that are on Twitter. But once you start to cultivate those people, they're really amazing. They're always sharing information about job opportunities, hot topics in the field, whether it be technical topics about, the latest forensic capabilities or the latest industry breach, to topics such as there's a growing mental health crisis for people in the cybersecurity field. And so it's been a really great place to learn from other people, to get access to different information, different blogs, etc., and to just find like-minded people that are going through similar struggles of work-life balance at home in an industry that never turns off. So I would really recommend that people start there. And then also in terms of more additional free resources and learning about some more technical skills, I've really, learned a lot from different people posting on YouTube, having different classes or tutorials on malware analysis, or how to use this tool, and walking through how to do an investigation on different types of technologies. So there's a lot of great free resources out there, and you just gotta go digging.
Thank you for that. And for those of you who are watching us and listening to this web series, Meghan Martinez was actually my mentor in the Mass Cyber Center Mentorship Pilot Program this year. And I know a little bit about the story, but I was hoping that you could share with our viewers why you decided to be my mentor and participate in this program, because I know you made a huge impact in my life. You helped me, supported me, and encouraged me throughout the whole journey. So I truly appreciate that. I want to thank you for that.
Well, thank you for your kind words. You've been wonderful to work with, and to mentor. And I always, try to make it a priority in these types of relationships. I learn a lot too. There's never, in this industry, regardless of what role you're in, we're always learning. And so just because, I'm really glad and appreciative that there are things that you've learned from me, but I've also learned a lot from you. So thank you for that. My success, whether it was in my old profession or my current one, is really due to the generosity of other people. I've been very, very lucky to be surrounded by people that were willing to teach me, and teach me in different ways. Some of them took a more active role, or they were my supervisor, let's say, and so they took that part of the job seriously. And some of them were people just I met along the way, and developed kind of friendships that turned into kind of that symbiotic mentorship relationship. And I've had some wonderful, wonderful mentors. Probably my biggest mentor in the cyber community was one of my old bosses, John Alfred, who works for the state police. And I started that role actually as, kind of like an office person, managing their grants and things like that. And he saw that I wanted to learn, and he was willing to take the time to teach me. And so I always carry him as kind of my my epitome, I guess, of what I want to do and how I want to give back. And a couple of years ago, I also had the fortunate/unfortunate experience of having a really poor manager that really impacted my self-esteem and my self-confidence and my ability to see myself as a cyber professional. And luckily, it took me some time and the help of my colleagues and my support system, and I was able to recover. And I'm in definitely a much better place now. But having gone through that experience and having it be so devastating, it really, really underscored the impact that mentors can play and the positive impact that they can have. And so ever since having gone through that myself, I feel even more passionate and more strongly about being able to give back wherever I can and to share my experiences, to share my resources, whether it be my time or, a colleague, a point of contact, a particular book or blog or technology that's helped me. I want to be fully transparent in how I've gotten here, because there's too much gatekeeping in our industry, but there's too much gatekeeping for women and people of color across the board. And, particularly when it comes to cybersecurity, we are only going to advance in this industry and become safer the more that people are educated. We have a huge problem in this industry with not having enough people and, having unrealistic expectations in terms of, new grads and people that are just starting out. And I want to make sure that anyone who has a passion for learning and has a passion for this industry, there's a place for you. And if you're not where you want to be professionally, I want to help you get there in whatever form or fashion I can. That's really important to me. And so I just hope to be able to share what I can with anyone that feels like they need it.
Thank you. I can definitely testify as to you have accomplished everything that you wanted. You definitely shared your time with me, resources, a bunch of information and help that I couldn't even ask for anything more because you've given me everything I could have hoped for. And thank you for doing this interview with me.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. The only thing I ask is just keep sharing it on and keep passing it on.
I will.
You're going to do great things. And so, hopefully you'll have other young women and other people that you'll be able to help as well.
I will definitely pass it on. Thank you again, and thank you all for tuning in to this month's My Cyber Why, and see you on the next one. Bye.